Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you are in the world, welcome and thank you for joining us. This is AutoVision News Radio at AutoSens and InCabin USA 2025 from the Huntington Place in downtown Detroit. We are speaking with Paul Fernando, president of the OpenGMSL Association. Paul is a seasoned leader in the semiconductor industry with over 15 years of experience specializing in video and audio connectivity. He currently serves as a marketing director at Analog Devices. Throughout his career, Paul has been at the forefront of innovation. He spearheaded the Analog Devices Time-of-Flight 3D imaging program in collaboration with Panasonic on the Microsoft HoloLens. His leadership was instrumental in the formation of the OpenGMSL Association, which fosters an open ecosystem for the next generation of connectivity standards. Paul, welcome to AutoSens and InCabin. Good to see you, friend.
Pleasure to be here, Carl. Thank you.
Yeah. So OpenGMSL, that was launched here at AutoSens USA 2025. Take us through OpenGMSL. Tell us more about the standard and why you decided to launch it here.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's very interesting. You look at AutoSens and InCabin, a lot of the stuff you see here is surrounding the modality we call vision.
Yes.
Everything you see here. It may seem pretty obvious now, but 20 years ago, one company named Analog Devices, among a few others, decided very early on to invest in vision for automotive.
Yes.
And as a result, what we had was GMSL, Gigabit Multimedia Serial Link Technology for video links, which has proliferated across the industry, both on the ADAS for the camera, LiDAR side, as well as the IVI side for displays. So at the moment, we've exceeded over 25 OEMs, 50 global tier ones, with over 1 billion units on the road right now.
Right.
And if you walk around AutoSens, you'll see many of the companies here use GMSL in most of their solutions right here.
Sure.
So the industry has reached a point where video links are just so prolific and important to sell a car that now we've decided to open GMSL as an industry standard.
Sure. There are two other competitive video standards. Paul, the question is, why should the industry accept a third standard? And then ultimately, further to that, what does OpenGMSL offer that's different?
Yeah, absolutely. So the competitive open standards started roughly about 6-7 years ago. There's been some level of very early traction, but the reality is that over 50% of the market is currently using GMSL, even in proprietary mode. And on day one, today, overnight, OpenGMSL becomes the single industry standard by the fact that we have a vast majority of the market already using it.
Right. Paul, this is probably a question you've been asked a lot today with the reveal, but what prompted the move from a proprietary GMSL technology to this open standard? What inspired that move? Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a critical question. So, as we are all aware, there's this magical beast we call SDV. No one quite knows what it is. What we do know is that it's going to come up very soon, and it's a new level of abstraction that's coming up above what exists. And one thing that's critical to SDV, among many other things, is integration. So on the sensor side, we have some good demos at our booth. The camera image sensors for ADAS are just so large, they're bulky, they're high power, and there's considerable opportunities to make them much smaller by integrating the SerDes onto the image sensor. And that's a key requirement which can only be enabled by having an open standard. That's one of the critical reasons we decided to open, among many others, not to mention the fact that OEMs strongly prefer an open standard for video links, given the importance of them.
Keeping with that same train of thought, OEMs and companies, who are the companies then that are leading OpenGMSL?
Absolutely, yeah. We've got a vast majority of the ecosystem following us. So at the moment, we have Analog Devices, Qualcomm, and Sony and Granite River Labs leading the effort at the promoter board level of OpenGMSL.
Right.
We also have a bunch of other tier ones already joined and in the pipeline, not to mention many OEMs as well.
Right.
Yes.
Right. I know that this is new. You just announced this here at AutoSens USA 2025 in Detroit. But Paul, what does success then look like going forward for OpenGMSL? Say in the next couple of years, what do you foresee?
Absolutely. Yeah, so the ultimate litmus test for OpenGMSL is the fact that analog devices will have competitors to it in the future. In other words, we would like to see companies like Sony, Omnivision, some of our direct competitors who I won't name any names, to step up and start to build OpenGMSL products.
Right, right. Paul Fernando, president of the OpenGMSL Association. Paul, from all of us here at AutoSens and InCabin, want to thank you for your time, sharing your expertise and your insight and more background on the OpenGMSL Association. Have a great rest of the event. Safe travels back home, and I look forward to being able to do this again sometime real soon.
Yeah, absolutely, Carl. It's been a pleasure talking to you guys, and I look forward to next year at AutoSens.
Yeah. From the Huntington Place in downtown Detroit, for AutoSens and InCabin USA 2025, I'm Carl Anthony, AutoVision News Radio.